Hey there everyone, welcome back to Beyond the Apex Motorsport. Here we are doing our 1 month update as promised. So we're going to be going over what I did this last month and what challenges I faced, as well as what's going to be happening moving forward and what my goals are for the next month. So first of all, it's been an incredible month. It's been incredibly frustrating, but an incredible month getting into this journey. When I first started, I had to sign up for an iRacing account, which I did. I had no experience with iRacing. I had minimal experience with actual high-end sims that really push you and challenge you. And I also had no experience uploading things to YouTube, nor did I have any experience editing video footage or any of that stuff. So it's been a lot of education for me this month. When I first started with the sim, I could barely keep the car on the track and I was crashing into walls and cars and honestly my own ego as well. But little by little, I think I finally started to find a little bit of a rhythm. I began the rookie journey in the Formula cars and the road cars. And about halfway into the month, about 2 weeks in, I was able to go ahead and get myself out of the rookie class and into the D class. My ego was sky high when I was in rookies. My last 3 races I did in the Ray Formula 1600 had me in a first place every time. But then I moved into D class and that's when things started to get really difficult. I think there's this issue where you race poorly, so you feel bad, and feeling bad makes you race poorly, which makes you feel bad, and so on and so forth. So it's just like a really hard loop to get out of. But I do think that I've started to make my way out of that and into just some better overall mentality towards racing. Since then, I've been steadily moving up my consistency by getting better at a couple of things. Braking has been a big part of it, knowing when to brake by looking for markers along the side of the track. I've also started to improve on understanding where apexes are and how to hit them properly. And then last of all, I think one of my other big improvements has been learning throttle control. So learning how hard to get on the throttle and when to get yourself out of a corner quickly, because a lot of the times it's a corner into some kind of a straight and you really want to be thinking about your exit speed for the corner, which is something I've been trying to be more considerate about. These things have helped me to be a lot more consistent so far this month. I started out racing the MX-5 Cup car as well as the Ray Formula 1600. I then started to give a little bit of effort towards the GR86, which is cool, but it's just not my vibe. And then finally I started to do a bit of racing in the new BMW M2. I don't know if this is an unpopular opinion. I hate that car. I hate it so much. It is a boat that doesn't stop and doesn't turn in. That's at least how I feel, and I am just kind of over that car. So what I went ahead and did was finally spent 185 smackaroos getting myself into 2 additional leagues that I really wanted to do. The Ferrari Challenge League and then the FIA F4 Fixed League. The F4 car is fantastic. It's very fun to drive. I felt like I had a decent amount of control comparing myself over to the Ray Formula 1600. It just felt like enough translated between the 2 cars that I was able to keep it on track. You know, kind of have some like mid-pack finishes. The Ferrari, on the other hand, isn't like anything I've driven so far, and I truly think I bit off more than I could chew. I couldn't keep it on the track for 10 laps. I just couldn't for the life of me. I felt fast. I felt like I was getting good lap times for a while, and then I would just hit a curb just right or get a little bit too much rotation and then plant it into a wall. It felt like I'd started all over again. It still kind of feels like that. I've started to grasp the car a little bit more. But to be honest, if you're just starting out as a novice, I don't want to discourage you from getting that car because I love it. And I don't have any buyer's remorse, but it's a lot of car to handle and it's going to take some serious practice and hard work. At this point, we've started streaming. I'm on Twitch Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday at 9 a.m. I went ahead and gave YouTube streaming a shot, but I don't think that that's going to be for me. I kind of appreciate the setup that Twitch has a little bit more. It's easier for me to export a higher quality version of those videos that I can then add an intro and an outro to upload to YouTube. And I just think it works a little bit better. So from here on out, I'll be streaming pretty much exclusively on Twitch until I can figure out how to multi-stream in a good way. And so just so you guys are aware, all the videos that you see are very fresh, about 10 to 15 hours old. I typically will do a race or a couple of races, and then I will go back through and grab all of that footage, all my replays, all of that, and I will edit everything within that day to have it uploaded the following morning. Now, before we move on to focusing on the next month, I do want to tell y'all this has been mentally frustrating. Honestly, I was on the edge of quitting every single week. Like, just so close to quitting. The biggest challenge for me, honestly, has been dealing with the mentality of it. It's very easy to get frustrated in a race or to get in some kind of crash where you just want to blame others. And I felt myself doing that. That is not something that I'm a fan of. I don't like it. I didn't like the way I was behaving when I did things like that. And it's something that I strive to avoid moving forward, because a lot of the times I was looking back at the replays and realized, oh, yeah, that was kind of my fault. I could have been a little bit more apprehensive. I think it's important for all of us as individuals to take accountability for our actions and be able to take moments to calm down and realize that everybody can make mistakes. I'm not a fan of making excuses or pointing fingers, and it's crazy to me that I found myself doing that. It's just, we as people need to learn to take more accountability. I myself more so than included. Give it time before we start to make accusations, because a lot of the time you'll realize some things you didn't in the moment, and the things you realized could change your perspective. So that's something I'm going to be focusing on a lot more this coming month. For this coming month, I've got some pretty simple goals. I want to get much better at trail braking. I've noticed that after watching replays, a lot of the people who seem to be way faster than me are really just using their feet to steer a lot more effectively than I am. When I look at their telemetry, that's kind of what it indicates to me. I think that that's something that I just need to start pushing myself to do, even at the risk of getting in a crash, and get better at it. I also want to improve my safety and my I rating. So I want my safety rating by the end of this month to be a C class. And then I would also like my I rating at the end of this month to be at 1600 in both categories for the Formula and the road cars. So what I'm really excited to announce is that I'm working to launch a Patreon. And not the kind of Patreon you may think. While you may have the opportunities to just directly support me, the main function of this Patreon is going to be for all of us to be able to start supporting some amazing charities. We'll have the ADAA, which is a mental health resource for anxiety and depression. We will have the AFSP, which is a suicide prevention and awareness program. We'll have RAIN, which is support for survivors of SA. We'll have NAMI, which is an advocacy and education group specifically for mental health. And last of all, we'll have the SCCA Foundation. They're a grassroots motorsport program that supports youth racing education. So to wrap things up, this month has been an incredible whirlwind of challenges, growth, learning, just self-improvement, and also being very frustrated and irritated and wanting to quit and give up all the time. It's just been a little bit of everything from my perspective, but I would not trade this month for the world. It's been impactful on me in ways that are tangible and create real growth. Now, I do want to say before I go that I am incredibly grateful for all the support that I've been receiving. I know that people say this all the time, but I mean it, because I know who I am as a person. I would have quit. I for sure 100% would not be sitting in this chair, even racing at all, let alone uploading videos, if it hadn't been for the support that I've received from others. I've received fantastic advice. I've received words of encouragement. Every last thing you guys are doing is creating true, meaningful, and lasting impressions on me. I think that next month is shaping up to be even more exciting. One, because of these new initiatives, and two, because I'm just feeling a lot more confident on the track, which should give us a lot more action and enjoyment. I can't wait to see how far we can go together. So thanks again for being a part of the journey. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next one. Cheers.